During the winter time, a lot of snowmobiles use it. While I was out doing a little photography on Sunday, I passed 12 different snowmobilers. And this is a good thing because we don't want the trail to be kind of a sole use thing. If it's used all year round, there's more of a desire to keep it open and keep it maintained. Their plans then for the Kalhaven right now are to extend that trail. It does go to Drake Road right now. A few years ago, there was a tunnel put under 131. So you can, with a mountain bike, go from Drake Road to the trailhead at 10th Street. I say that because that trail is unimproved. It's just hard-packed earth right now. The main Kalhaven trail, you can take it with a hybrid bike, mountain bike. I ride a recumbent, so I'm one of those people. I don't do spandex. But children on 20-inch single speeds can ride the Kalhaven. Grandmothers, grandfathers. The trail itself right now is a hard-packed limestone and slag trail. So it's not as perfect as an asphalt paved trail. And you might notice some difference in how fast you can go compared to a road, but it's very level. There's only 2 hills of any consequence in the entire trail, and they're at both ends. When you start off at 10th Street, you go down this nice, long, gradual slope, and it feels wonderful and marvelous. And then at the Kalhaven end, there's also a hill, which by that time you could be mumbling about the hill. Otherwise, since it is a railroad bed, it was very few gradients along the way.
That makes sense. How long is the trail?
34.5 miles, or 36 miles to downtown Kalhaven, which is often a good place if you're having somebody pick you up, you can go there. Both trailheads have parking lots with water and outhouse facilities. Also along the way, Bloomingdale, which is halfway, has probably the best water on the trail because the Depot Museum in Bloomingdale, they put out a little sink where they've attached to a garden hose, which I think is the best water in the trail. They also have the best picnic area along the way. But all along the trail, Kendall, Gobles, Bloomingdale, Grand Junction, and then Kalhaven, you have food, stores, delis, restaurants. A lot of people will just bike to Gobles from 10th Street, 12.5 miles, have an ice cream, have breakfast, have lunch, and then bike back, go back.
Sure.
So you can go all the way down the trail, or you can make a loop so that you go back to your car and you don't have to have somebody come to pick you up.
There are a lot of things to see on the trail. There's potential for wildlife, a lot of nice scenery. At one point you're along the Black River at the end when you get to Kalhaven.
Yeah, the Kalhaven end is probably the most scenic. It has it has this beautiful covered bridge along it. Lots of pictures on that on the Kalhaven websites and all. Starting out from our end, you are immediately kind of encased in trees for the first few miles. So you're on this raised riverbed. That you're going through forest. From Kendall onward, it's a combination of open farm fields and covered forest areas. So it's a nice alteration. If it's a hot and steamy day, you're happy for the covering. If it's a cooler day, you're happy to get into the opening a little bit. And then at the end, yes, the river run over the bridge into Kalhaven makes it quite nice. In fact, there's only one even slightly annoying point on the trail where you come upon what I think is a chicken farm. This is toward the western edge. You'll see these large buildings with large blowers on it.
Oh, sure.
Maybe for about 50 yards you get a whiff of something a little ammonia-like. But other than that...
That's just the great out of doors.
The great out of doors, yes.
There's sometimes wild blackberries along the trail, right? If you're hungry and you can't
don't give away all these secrets. No, it's like tell them to pick up the walnuts as they're going by, because hitting a walnut with a bike is a little annoying. But collect the walnuts, but no, don't talk about the blackberries, please.
What are you mentioned the possibility of extending the trail. I guess it'd be eastward towards Battle Creek.
Yeah. There's a grand plan called the Kalamazoo River Valley Trailway. They have their website again, which is K-A-L Trail, T-R-A-I-L, way, W-A-Y.org, caltrailway.org. The grand plan is interconnection. Now, there's a huge plan that we could go from Kalhaven to Detroit. But in 1991, there was a master plan put together that would connect Kalhaven to Battle Creek. Battle Creek has an excellent linear park and surface road system also. In fact, if you go to Battle Creek, bcparks.org, they should have a map there of the linear park, which makes a nice loop through Battle Creek. You can start around the old Cereal City area on the edge of downtown, follow the river up, go through northern Battle Creek and around. So right now, this summer, hopefully by July, because we just got through all the legals of right-of-ways, we can have a more paved trail from the trailhead on 10th Street under 131 to Drake Road and into downtown Kalamazoo to Westnedge. That's this year's hopeful connection.
Connecting to downtown. And this tunnel under 131, that's a fairly recent, within the last couple
When they
of years.
redid 131 2-3 years ago, that was put under there. So that was a real boon. I mean, because expressways do tend to be a bit of a block for bikes. But as they're redoing overpasses, they're making them a little wider for bike lanes, so things are constantly being made more accessible for non-motorized traffic. So the plan is the right-of-ways have been put in, MDOT is ready to go, and we should be able to get from Westnedge, downtown Kalamazoo, to the trailhead, hopefully around July of this year. The next part of the grand plan goes north to D Avenue through Markham Glen Park and the Nature Center. And then, unfortunately, on hold right now is the southward leg that would go through Kalamazoo and connect to the Portage Trailway system at Middleton and Lover's Lane. Problem there is a brownfield at the old Allied Paper Company. So they're trying to make a decision now. Do we put in what we can of the trail and then do surface streets around Allied Paper? This one is a little on hold. What is more possible in the next 2 years is to push eastward through Comstock to Galesburg and then hopefully to Augusta. The last segment, they don't really have a timing yet to get to Battle Creek. Would be nice, but we've got a series of Kalamazoo County parks that we can keep going through Comstock, Galesburg, and connect out there and at least be able to get the trail, if not to, very close to the Fort Custer Recreation Area, which has a mountain biking trail on it. Even if we don't get a formal trail, getting to the Battle Creek system is not too difficult because their trail, their linear park, goes to the far western edge of Battle Creek. So it's a reasonably easy connection from there right now.
Why is biking important? Why should people our age think about biking?
Well, health is a big issue, and it is for me. One reason I don't do spandex is I'm not as thin as I would like to be. So I do see people in my body shape wearing spandex, and I just think, you're a better man than I am, Gunga Din. It's a way for me to commute to work. It's a way for me to get exercise. It's a way for me to have fun with my kids. It's a way for me to have a little bit of peaceful time. I've also just enjoyed getting into the wrenching aspect, being a bike mechanic. I enjoy the ability to make and build, and I even half build, because it's a conversion kit, my current recumbent bike. So it's both an exercise and
That would be
a
a
hobby.
project.
Actually not too bad. But even if I wasn't going quite that far down mechanics range, just being able to do the work I enjoy. And yes, if you're going to ride a bike, you should be at least able to change a tire, do the basic maintenance, check your brakes, things like this. So, would I like to be able to do more biking in commuting sake? Yes, I would. And would I like to be able to do it safely? Yes, I would. Am I a bit envious of countries like Denmark that have a huge biking culture and 10-foot wide bike lanes along streets? Yes, I would. Well, that may not happen within my lifetime. Here, we can certainly evolve to include both motorized and non-motorized vehicles safely.
You mentioned safety a couple times. What are some safety rules for bicyclists? What are some of the fundamentals? If you're, let's say, you haven't biked in a while, you're middle-aged, and you're seeing these two guys on TV, and you go, yeah, I got a bike in the garage, you ought to get that out, and it might be kind of fun, but you haven't done it in a few years. What are some of the things to think about?